We stopped. So in our today's class, I just wanted to take you people through the computer personnel, getting to really understand the various skills that are required of us for people that will be graduating, of course, at the tail end of our course, at your module 3, that is diploma. When you'll be graduating, what are some of the skills that will be required to have at the end of it all? So I have got the screen here. I'll be able to share so that we're able to get this very, very clear. So under computer personnel, we have got various skills. I've sampled a few areas of specialization that maybe one needs to specialize in. So when you talk of a computer personnel, whom are we referring to? And when you talk about the IT specialist, whom are we referring to? This is very, very important for us for this lesson. So kindly let's pay attention as we go through the entire lesson. I think we'll be stopping at about around 10:45. The others, I think I'll be welcoming them as they join. Some seems to be taking too much time before they get to join the class. Ahmad, Malim, can you hear me? Sarah, of course you're there. Sarah? Malim?
Yes.
Okay, good. Malim? Okay. When you talk about computer personnel, whom are we really, referring to? A computer personnel, basically, this is a role for an IT person, that is information technology, which basically oversees the running of computer systems and ensuring that the machines and computers are running properly. The role of a computer personnel basically is to ensure the controls on computer and other peripherals. When you talk about computer peripherals, what do we mean? Computer peripherals refers to, things like the keyboard. We got the mouse, the monitor, the system unit. We have printers. If say like you've connected other external devices, maybe say like the sound devices like speakers, all that will be referred to as the peripheral. Those are components that are basically connected to the periphery of the computer. A computer system, of course, cannot work without things like hardware and software. And so just apart from the hardware components, when you talk about the computer peripherals, we're also referring to other components like the printers. So this is very, very important for you to know. So in this week 4, we've tackled on ICT and ethics. We've tackled this content on the various skills that an IT professional requires. So we simply refer to it as computer personnel. The other thing that you also need to understand is who is an IT professional and the various roles and skills that are required for an IT professional. I'll take you direct to the slides that I did make. So when you talk of an IT, an IT specialist, who is this individual? An IT specialist basically is an individual or a specialist who is responsible for monitoring the computer systems and accessing the various errors that come. They get to troubleshoot, they get to update and upgrade systems within an IT department. There are companies, of course, that are just working as IT industry, or rather IT companies, but there are those that are not necessarily specialized in, or rather, they basically just rely on IT as a department, or rather as a department that basically enables their business processes. So for them, they'll have to go ahead and employ somebody that is in charge of checking on maybe systems, if the systems are down, upgrading systems, and maybe troubleshooting and assessing just that the whole IT components are working. So these individuals, we simply give them one particular like title, and we refer to them as IT specialists. Though we'll be learning in our lesson again today that, of course, they're different. That those that are in charge of maybe developing softwares, and so we refer to them as software programmers, or we simply call them computer programmers. That those that are just in charge of maybe the support. And when it comes to support is very, very wide. There's that person that is in charge of support, but they basically just focus on which area. They simply focus on maybe network. And so we simply call them the network support specialist. There's that person in an IT company or in an institution that has just been employed as an IT help desk. We call them the help desk technicians. And so their responsibility basically is simply to receive calls and forward to various technicians. There could be technicians that handle the hardware. There could be technicians that handles the software part. There are those that are there basically that just deals with, the coding, the ones that we refer to as the programmers, those that are in charge of just checking and confirming that the network is running and it is smooth. So we simply refer to them as the network support specialists. So this term, IT specialists, they are basically information technology professionals who monitor a company's computer systems. They assess, they troubleshoot errors and any lag that is maybe like the delay in maybe a particular IT process. They update and upgrade systems. Depending on the industry where they work with computers, there are, of course, institutions that maybe use particularly maybe like computers. There are those that maybe just use maybe particular applications. And so they do not necessarily need, like a computer. Maybe they just need like a smartphone to be able to access, or even a tablet to be able to access that particular application or whatever software that is running. So these professionals, they can work in a variety of organizations and industries. They could work in the finance department. They could work within a technological company, the healthcare, the retail, and many others. For example, you go to a supermarket, for example, you find an individual has been employed basically just to check on the software that they basically use for purposes of maybe stock taking. In the supermarket, I believe that you people have gone to supermarkets, and sometimes you see when you purchase something from the shelf, you normally have to go through a cashier, and this cashier basically, they have to work with something called the point of sale device that basically scans like a barcode. And then on the screen, the software now, it gets to report whatever name of that particular component is, the price that has been tagged on it. And now they only need to input maybe quantities of the device or, the item that they're purchasing. So IT professionals, they can work in a wide range of companies, those that deal purely with finance, of course, technology, the healthcare, the retail, and many, many others, engineering and the rest. So their work as IT specialists is to promote digital security. They provide technical support to employees, and of course ensures that systems are running effectively and efficiently for the various work organizations need. Very important. The other, so when we talk of an IT specialist, what are some of the qualifications or maybe skills they are required to know to have. An effective IT specialist uses a variety of skills. They could be soft skills, technical skills, and industry knowledge to provide most efficient and comprehensive support. Some of the skills they require there include, the working knowledge of relevant operating system, the software. They also need some programming skills. Yeah. They must be able to have, excellent problem solving and critical thinking skills. They must be very keen on attention to details. They must be people with good organization, somebody that can be able to organize things, somebody that can be able to work and be able to manage time well. You should be that person who can be able to prioritize your work. Say you walk into an office and there is no internet. And remember, you should be able to know that maybe the internet is one of those critical services that maybe the company uses to support their business processes. So somebody that, if you're that person who prioritizes your work very well, then you should be able to know that even before going to sort out a computer of maybe say like a particular employee who might be having some software problem, what do I need to do first? First thing that I need to do is to rush and just get to ensure that internet is back so that that person whose machine is okay can be able to continue, working. So a good IT specialist should have those soft skills. A good organizer, somebody who knows how to deal with time. You must be able to know how to deal with time, prioritizing your work. We should be able to efficiently, troubleshoot, have some troubleshooting abilities or skills. When you are called and you're told that my machine doesn't have internet, my machine doesn't have this particular program, I can't be able to boot my computer to start it up. When I power it on, it doesn't power. What comes into your mind? You should be able to know how to troubleshoot. Of course, before we get to these soft skills, one thing that must come first is we must be able to have the technical skills. I will be taking you through, of course, through different professions or rather different specializations. Then you get to know what those particular individuals do. Of course, apart from the technical skills, most importantly, there are institutions that will actually employ you simply because of your soft skills. Yes, you could be very, very good in your technical skills, but you lack what is called the soft skills. You're that person who cannot critically think. You're that person who doesn't know how to solve problems. And so that might make you lose on a good job. So this is why I thought that at the very beginning, we get to start by going through some of the soft skills that are required. You should be that person who should be able to communicate. And that is why you people, I think you have got, of course, a unit in your dashboard that is communication skills. Communication is very, very important. So by learning communication, you should be able to, so that you will be adding your communication skills amongst other skills on top of the technical skills that you have, because the technical skills, of course, you're going to acquire by the time you are finishing your course. But you cannot be good in your technical skills minus the other soft skills. So communication skills is very critical. You should be able to know that person who knows how to speak. And it is not just speaking, I should also be able to write down. This is why in various jobs, you normally see out there most of the employers asking that you should be able to know how to speak good English and even write. And apart from just speaking and writing, there's also the part of, active listening. Active listening is also very, very critical. Another very important skill, we call it great customer service and interpersonal skills. Interpersonal skills, how do you get to relate with others? Yes, you're the best technical support specialist, you are the best database administrator, you are the best system admin, but do you even know how to relate with others? What if you go to the front office and you're told, sit in for so and so, for say like some few hours? Will you be able to communicate, say, with a client who walks into the company? The interpersonal skills. Do you know that where you're going to work, there are also other individuals who come from different, cultural background. And so if you get to join them as a new employee, you should be able to have interpersonal skills, know how to relate with your fellow employees. Very, very important. So as an IT specialist, these are some of the soft skills you need to have. But further, I will go one by one. Now, just to understand the various areas of specialization, like when you talk of a database administrator, who is that kind of a person? What do they do? When you talk of a computer support specialist, who is that kind of a person in a company? Help desk technician. We talk of a network support specialist. We talk of a computer programmer. Who are these people? This is what I wanted us to go through. But of course, in a dashboard on lesson 4, sorry, week 4, lesson 1, this has been well explained. And so I expect that even after this lesson, all of us will go there and be able to read and understand and make a lot of notes from there. Let me just start with, I want to start with the most basic skills. We have the help desk technician. Winnie, how are you? Winnie? Hello, Winnie. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Winnie?
Yes.
Good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good. Malim? Malim?
Yes, teacher.
Oh, you can hear me, yeah?
Yes.
And I hope you're following, yeah?
Yes, I'm following.
Very good. Gabriel? 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 Gabriel is very quiet. Sarah, you there? Kiru, Sarah? Sarah?
Yes.
Oh, that's good. And then we have Winnie. I haven't heard from Winnie. Winnie?
Sure.
Oh, good. Try to improve on your volume.
Okay.
Okay, very important. Now, let me take you to the help desk technician. What are some of the duties of this particular individual? What do they do? So, as an IT student, of course, by the time that you'll be graduating, you could get a job in a company as an IT person. Maybe at the very beginning, you'd be called a support person. But when you join, they get to give you a role. And you're told that you will be the company's help desk technician, the help desk technician. So what are some of the roles? What are some of the roles that you'll be required to do as a help desk technician? One of them will always be to accept, calls from users. But when I get a call from a user, what am I required to do as a help desk technician? The first thing is for you to be able to register that kind of a call. Register the call and say that maybe the accounts team or rather the accounts department, the marketing department, they are calling and they have got this particular problem. So you get to register it. Where do you get to register that? Most companies have got this kind of system that basically they use. It is a database they basically use to register problems from outside. It's a department. All problems every morning, every week, they are taken to the IT department. But when they call, who is the first person to receive that? So you're likely to get a job as a help desk technician, and yours will be to receive the calls and then get to register the problems within a database. So when you get to register that problem, you have to note down that it is accounts, it is a marketing department, maybe the HR department who called and they said that they are not able to access the internet. Or if it is an application that is being used across the organization, they get to say, we are not able to access the application, maybe because of internet problems. Now, your work will be to report that to maybe the senior technician, if there is such kind of a position, or maybe there's somebody who is called a head of ICT. Then after reporting that problem, now it will be the role of the head of ICT of the senior technician to assign a particular individual, and you're told, kindly go to this department. Maybe it is a floor. If say like it's a building, maybe with 3 or even 5 floors, then you'll be told, go to the 4th floor, go to the 10th floor, or the ground floor, and get to check such and such a person is having a problem. So yours will be to register that problem. You should be able to solve problems for users over the phone if possible. That's another skill. So you're not just there to receive problems, but the most importantly also is that with the skills that you have, some other problems, you could simply be told, my mouse is not working. And then you can be able to advise that person technically as an IT person and tell them, can you just remove it and maybe plug it in again? But the only thing is that your assistance is usually limited to simple problems. So an IT help desk technician, maybe some of them are employed with, maybe are not technically good, but problems that maybe you're not able to solve, those are the ones that you do what? You escalate. Escalating means you receive it and send to another what? Another department. You get it? It's okay. The other one is if the problem cannot be solved over the phone and the help desk, if it is not, you're not able to solve it over the phone, then yours will be now to call a particular staff who is working in the same department, IT department, and then send them. Your work also should be to assist computer users with the, inevitable hardware and software questions that are not addressed in product instructions. Some of the components that you buy, maybe computers or other IT equipment that you buy, they normally come with a manual. So this is why your work can also be simply to help users solve their problem by simply advising them maybe to go to a particular manual, or this manual, chances are you're the one who have it. So you can advise them, do this and this. Read this so that you're able to sort it out. Yours is also to field telephone calls and email messages from customers who are seeking guidance on technical problems. Let me just leave it there, then I go to the other role. The network support. I think this one I'd already mentioned, that the network support, basically your work is to assist users in rectifying, network related problems. There could be security access, issues of passwords, issues of firewall. There could be internet access, or simply a network failure, or a printer failure, printers that are connected on the network. Maybe like a print server doesn't have the network. So who should be able to sort out this? The person that can be employed in a company to do that kind of work should be the network and network support. We refer to them as network support specialist. The other role of the same individual should be to assist the network administrator. Remember, the network administrator now will be a much bigger role. They should be able to assist the network administrators in managing user accounts, installing softwares on the network, backing up data and retrieving files, and also maintaining the network security. The other third role again is for you as a network support specialist to maintain the help desk database. The help desk database, remember, this kind of work now will be related. You as a network specialist, you should also be able to help or rather work with the network support, the help desk technician, get all the calls, get all the emails that they've received about maybe complaints or errors that are within the IT infrastructure, record it, and then of course, go ahead and provide solutions to them. So that's the role of a network support specialist. Another role which is very important for us, all of us, is a programmer. Who is a programmer? That person that basically writes programs. They get to design programs. They develop basically softwares. They develop softwares for use within the company. They'll be referred to as a programmer. There are companies that have employed individuals to do that particular work, while other companies have not employed, but what they've simply done is for them they outsource. So if they need a system, a software to do a particular task, then they would be able to approach a company that does purely coding. But well, we also have other companies that have just employed an individual to work within the company so that whenever they want a particular solution, a particular application to be developed, then they get to do it. So the main task of the computer programmer is to solve problems and develop in the development of systems, solutions using appropriate methodologies and techniques. They use languages such as C++, the PHP, Java to communicate and, to write out programs. Of course, you're aware of what programs is, and I think that one we did in our week 3 about softwares. Those of us that are doing diploma, of course, you guys are doing structured programming. That's a unit basically that gets to introduce all the diploma students to what? To coding. But for those that are doing the certificate in ICT, you'll start learning about programming when you go to module 2. Have certificate in module 2. When you're in module 2, that's when you get to be introduced. But those that are doing diploma, this is a unit that you're doing structured programming. You are basically getting to be introduced into coding. So a programmer should be able to write and test programs to ensure their efficiency, the accuracy, and to identify programming errors, the right test, and maintain the detailed instructions that we call programs that computers must always follow when they're performing various functions. Very important. Apart from the computer programmer, we've also seen the network support specialist. There is this person who works as a computer support specialist. Who is a computer support specialist? This is not that much detailed role. This can be that person who has just graduated from college or the university, and then they're employed to help understand and sort out people with simple problems within the company. So their role basically is increasingly they're also specialists. They can still also be employed as help desk technicians. Their house is to provide technical assistance, support and advise customers and other users on errors that they might be experiencing within. There also include technical support specialists, help desk technicians. So you notice that the computer support specialist, their role is not as different from the technical support and also the help desk. So it is one particular role that can be used interchangeably. It can be used interchangeably. They help with troubleshooting problems. They interpret problems. So if somebody tells you my computer is not booting up, you should be able to go look at the machine, should be able to interpret. If somebody uses a technical term that a particular employee is not able to understand, an employee who is not necessarily an IT person should be able to even help them by explaining it in simple terms. They also answer calls, analyze the problems they receive from the calls or even from the emails by using automated programs or diagnostic programs. They may also work within a company that uses computer systems or directly for a computer hardware and software vendor. A computer support specialist can be employed as a technical salesperson in a company that's maybe doing IT sales. And so your work will be to advise. If a client comes and they want maybe like to purchase even a computer, your work as a computer support specialist is to even advise them on why they should be able to purchase this computer as opposed to another. Remember, we also discussed, I think in week 3, we discussed about the factors that one needs to consider when they're purchasing hardware and when they're also purchasing software. And so this can be a role. Such a person can be employed with a computer vendor, that person that sells the computer accessories, to be advising people that come to purchase. If say I want to purchase a computer, what do I need to consider in terms of the hardware requirements? So that's a very, very critical role. But above all these roles, there is one of the skills that I would actually advise most of you as you continue pursuing our ICT course from certificate to diploma level. And even for those that would want to go and continue their, their course, even at the university level, areas and professions that are very lucrative are roles to do with database administrators. Database administrator, this is a very serious role within a company, within an organization. Theirs is to develop databases. They design and develop databases. And after doing that, what is left for them? Their role within an organization is mainly they're responsible for the organization's data. They maintain the data structure. When you design a database basically is a container, a data container that it is like a container that the company uses to store all its data. You people are paying school fees. When you pay fees, sometimes some of you go to the bank to deposit. Others, they simply use the M-Pesa they send. Whenever you are sending that money or that payment to the school, it goes through the pay bill, but the school receives it through a system. So that system has been designed by database administrators. They've developed it. A group of people that code, we refer to them as software programmers, but the person that basically designed the database so that when I send payment, it is able to reflect within the school system. That is held.
Mwalimu, sikusikii.
Me too. I'm not hearing you.
Hey, teacher, kwani umejimute?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Is somebody speaking? Albanas? 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 Cariton, you're saying something? Jamal?
Yes,
How are you?
I'm fine.
Our class is almost ending, of course, but some of you are really taken quite a long time before they join the meeting.
Yes, because they used the first link that you sent.
Yeah, of course, the first link was for this particular class.
Yes.
Then the second one is what you'll be having in the afternoon, yeah?
Yes.
Are we together?
Yes.
Anyway, I'm going to share this particular, to all of us, everybody to listen, I'm going to share this particular recording for this Zoom class. I'm going to share it just below the link that I put on the dashboard. That is on week 4.
Okay.
And so whatever we have discussed, you should be able to follow it from there. Sawa sawa.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Cariton, how are you?
I'm fine.
You're okay?
Yes.
I'm happy that you've always joined our class. Gabriel, Sarah, this is very good. I've seen somebody by the name Malim. Malim did not speak. Winnie. Our meeting is almost ending because the way I'd set the time, it's supposed to end at exactly 11. And I can see just about a minute before it ends.
Yes.
Now, Cariton,
Yes.
but kindly get the recording. Get the recording on the dashboard. I'm going to upload this recording for the same lesson. Sawa sawa?
Okay, sir.
So thank you. Have a good day. We meet in the afternoon
Are you too?
for the other class. Kindly let's remember to join earlier. Sawa?
Sawa sawa.
Thank you and God bless you.
God bless you.